Right, in this video we're going to talk about fuel cells. Now, fuel cells are basically a clever device that takes oxygen and hydrogen into the fuel cell and reacts them together. Now, normally when you react oxygen and hydrogen, you think about burning the oxygen and hydrogen. And that's what this question says here. A confused parent is convinced that hydrogen is burnt inside a fuel cell, and the hydrogen is not burnt inside a fuel cell. They need correcting when that approach has been indented. You must therefore tell them why a fuel cell is similar but different to burning. Okay, so both fuel cells and combustion of hydrogen, both reactions, and they are different reactions. Why I say different reactions? It's the same reactant, it's the same product, so it's the same reaction, but it's just done in a different way. Both reactions use oxygen and hydrogen and produce water. So the reactants and products in both reactions are the same. The difference now, burning gives off the stored energy, because there's a lot of energy stored in hydrogen and oxygen, the stored energy as heat. Okay, now this is the clever bit about fuel cells. Fuel cells give off the stored energy as electricity, and that makes them potentially fascinating to us as human beings, because there's a tremendous amount of stored energy in hydrogen and oxygen. And to get the energy off as electricity rather than heat is supremely efficient. I mean, in a car engine where it's burning petrol, they get very hot, so that's very inefficient. Whereas the fuel cells don't get that hot. They give off the energy as electricity, and the product of that reaction is water, and there's no issue with water in the environment at all. So they are potentially extremely exciting. So the word equation, hydrogen. Hydrogen is what goes in along with oxygen. Oxygen can come from the atmosphere. The hydrogen would have to get from other methods. Hydrogen and oxygen makes water. The symbol equation, H2 plus O2 makes H2O. Okay, not burning, we're giving off the energy as electricity. Balancing, two hydrogens, looks okay, doesn't it? Two oxygens, only one oxygen, we need 2 there. That upsets the hydrogen. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. Why do some scientists consider fuel cells to be an environmentally friendly fuel? The product of the fuel cell is water. First developed for the Apollo space missions by NASA were fuel cells. They hydrogen and the oxygen with a rocket fuel to blast the astronauts off to the moon. And in the rockets, of course, the hydrogen oxygen is burnt and the energy is given off as heat. However, what they did is take some of the hydrogen oxygen into the command module where there's a fuel cell and generated the electricity to power the systems of the rocket. But of course, the byproducts being water, the astronauts drank. So it was a double winner. Yeah, so that's why some scientists consider it to be environmentally friendly. Two advantages of a fuel cell compared to a fossil fuel. One, obviously, again, the products of burning fossil fuels is CO2, a greenhouse gas. In other words, it's responsible for global warming. That's the big problem with burning fossil fuels, greenhouse gas. 2, fuel cells are efficient. I've said this already. They don't get that hot. Petrol burning. We want the energy stored in the petrol to make the car go forward, but actually we're burning the engine, so a lot of it is being given off as heat. The engine gets very hot. Why do you think some scientists argue that fuel cells are not an environmentally friendly source of energy? Well, the issue is hydrogen. Hydrogen has to be produced. Okay, now, hydrogen for the Haber process is produced by reacting methane with steam. Now, methane is a fossil fuel, so that process produces carbon dioxide. Hydrogen production often produces carbon dioxide. So if you're going to produce the carbon dioxide anyway, you may as well just burn the fossil fuels in the car. Okay, hydrogen would need to be produced by electrolysis of water, where the electricity was generated by renewables, i.e. wind turbines. Okay, if you do that, you've got an entirely non-polluting method of potentially driving cars. Do you think hydrogen fuel cells should replace petrol as a fuel for cars of the future? Give reasons to support your answer. Well, I think we're into yes in many ways, because the real advantage of fuel cells over something like an electric car, a battery car, is they can be filled up at a filling station. Like instead of filling the car with petrol, you fill it with hydrogen. It's quick and it's easy. The only issue is we don't have a hydrogen infrastructure. So advantages and disadvantages. Let's quickly answer this question down here as much as anything. Advantages. No greenhouse gases. That's the big one, isn't it? Okay. Quick to refuel. The issue with a lot of battery cars at the moment is they just take too long to charge and they don't go far enough. So no greenhouse gases, quick to refuel. Disadvantages, there's no hydrogen infrastructure. Okay, in other words, we may have petrol stations, but they sell petrol, they don't sell hydrogen. And that's a problem. We've got no large-scale hydrogen production. Okay, and there isn't any point in generating it from fossil fuels. We need to do it in a renewable way. So there's two advantages, two disadvantages. There are, of course, many more.